Hello, I'm Jean Widner, and I'm really excited to be here with all of you today at the first ever Health Game Conference. Felix Prell reached out to us several months ago, and we were honored to have his group review our product, and then even more so that he thought well enough of us at Wild Divine and our product that he created this opportunity for us to try to present some information to all of you about our company. I wanted to first share with you a bit of the background and the philosophy that we have here at Wild Divine, explain briefly to you how it works, and give you a general idea of the programs that we have developed and how we're changing over the years. Is the first slide up? Yes, Felix?
Yes, that's up.
Super. Established about a decade ago, Wild Divine quickly became a unique offering in the field of complementary alternative medicine. We took the classic principles of biofeedback and combined them with consumer-level computer gaming technology. Our goal at Wild Divine from the beginning has been to have biofeedback be accessible to regular people to become more familiar with their mind-body connection. Not only to learn, but to come to understand that the power of our own minds always have when working in harmony with our body. There are many ways to teach this. One way is through practices such as yoga or meditation. Others, of course, involve the more scientific approaches of biofeedback. But at Wild Divine, we decided that this learning process could combine the two and should be fun and have the potential to open our hearts and our minds toward more positive emotional states. Through this, profound changes can be seen in our actions, our health, our mental and physical wellness. Okay, next slide.
Yeah, okay, the next slide's up.
Okay. How does our product work? We use what we call the IOM hardware you see pictured there before you. This tool can be used by plugging it into any standard USB port on any computer or laptop. It is lightweight for travel, and thus you can do your training on your own time schedule anywhere. There are 3 finger sensors that clip on to your 3 middle fingers. The center finger sensor uses an infrared signal to detect your heart rate. Then the other 2 outer finger sensors use a current to detect your skin conductance level or sweat gland activity. Both of these measurements are among the most basic data used in biofeedback therapies. Both of these readings are what we use to have our software programs interact with the Wild Divine programs. So now let's talk a little bit more about each of these readings and what they mean. Next slide, please.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, how do they work? What our products are working with is what we call coherence as a reading when you are actively playing the games. To understand coherence, you also need to learn a bit about heart rate variability. HRV is primarily influenced by our breathing patterns. Every time you breathe in, your heart rate speeds up slightly, and every time you exhale, it decreases slightly. As you measure this heart response, a sine wave pattern will form. Then look at the length of time from the beginning of one wave pattern to the next. The ideal length of time for this is 10 seconds, and this is referred to as coherence. Coherence is the strongest and most stabilizing frequency. It is the best tool for the body to recover from stress and has profound positive changes in the body when we are breathing in coherence. Next slide.
Can you tell me which one's the correct one?
Coherence training in biofeedback is a technique where you can learn to manage stress and make the body more resilient. This is based upon the relationship between the emotional brain in our head and our physical heart. This is also working in harmony through the autonomic nervous system. The interaction between the brain and the heart means that the body can respond to our needs. In times of stress, our brain reacts and speeds up our heart to respond to the perceived need or threat. In times of calm, the heart slows down. But what is remarkable about our human mind-body connection is that the threat or stress does not need to be real. It can be only a thought of the mind. Move to the next slide for me, please. Merely the act of remembering a traumatic event in your life will increase your blood flow to your heart and increase the heart rate.
Sorry.
Sure.
Do we have the slide now with the graphs on them?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, because the presentation is sometimes moving onward on its own. Okay.
Sure, I'm imagining the timing would be slightly different.
Okay, please go on.
Okay, sure. Where was I? So, just remembering a traumatic event from your past will affect your body, speed up your heart rate and the blood flow to your heart, as still this was a real current threat. Your body doesn't know the difference. However, the reverse is also true. If you think of being relaxed, or even just think of being grateful for someone in your life, your heart and body will again respond by lowering your heart rate, reducing the blood flow. The profound learning in this is that we all have the power to change our state. Coherence is not a state of relaxation per se, but is a sense of inner calm that can be achieved while at rest, while at work, or at play. Next slide, please.
Yes.
So for skin conductance, the other measurement that we use in the program is called skin conductance level, or in simple terms, our sweat gland activity. This is similar to the technology used in a lie detector test, and is yet another measurement of your emotional state. What makes this particular measurement fun from a gaming point of view is how sensitive and subtle this reaction can be. Wild Divine is the only consumer-level active feedback or biofeedback product on the market that currently uses this measurement. A high energy state will raise your energy, and a relaxed state will lower this energy reading. Go ahead and move to the next slide. In summary, the mind-body training helps us to harness our natural powers of mind, body, and spirit to embrace wellness, health, and happiness as part of our daily lives. And now I'm stuck because I needed to read my own slide. Bear with me, folks. See if I can do this without messing up.
Not a problem. We're patient.
Okay. Benefits of mind-body training include improving mental clarity, increasing focus and concentration, a quieter mind, improving restorative sleep and resilience. Next slide. Who do we help? Anyone who wants to reduce or help manage stress. Children or adults with attention deficit disorder or ADHD. Teachers of students of all ages helping to improve their concentration, settle down, and improve their ability to learn. Caregivers. Chronic pain sufferers with migraines, back pain, cancer, and many chronic illnesses. Military or other first responders with post-traumatic stress disorder. Nurses and doctors in hospitals and in private practice. Mental health professionals with both adults and children. Some of the more unconventional groups too that have recently been using our product here in the United States. We have actually a high school prison in Madison, Wisconsin, where they started to use our passage, Journey to Wild Divine, the passage, which you're going to see a preview here of in a minute. And they found this technology being something that while the students were willing to learn through playing a game, they learned techniques to start responding differently to situations that obviously they'd not been responding productively to in the past. And got a grant to move that more widely within that school district. That's just one unconventional use, but there are many others. Next slide. Who do we help? We're in use in the Mayo Clinic, the Cleveland Clinic, Children's Hospitals Network, the Veterans Administration and Hospitals of the United States, and dozens of universities, the University of Sydney in Australia, Duke University, Children's Harvard Medical School, and many, many others worldwide. Okay, so now we're to products. Let's take a look at the two products on the first slide here. The first product that Wild Divine came to market with was an adventure game series created in part with Corwin Bell, the artist who still works with us to this day. That first product was called Journey to the Wild Divine, The Passage. And then we created a follow-up adventure game called Wisdom Quest. Each of these programs has over 40 completely unique active feedback events contained within them. And if you move to the next slide, we should have a preview of the passage.
Okay, 1 second.
Kan je starten als je zo? Nee.
Sag doch, dass du einen Ton haben wolltest.
Achso, ja, ich will Ton, bitte. Na gut, da können wir es auch gleich lauter machen. Sorry. Bisschen mehr?
That should just play automatically when the slide is started.
Yes, yes, I know normally, but we, this is on another computer. So it's going to change.
Nee, dat is al die voor je aangebunden, dan moet je einfach laufen lassen.
Wild Divine, the first in a series of interactive computer adventures for the mind and body from the Wild Divine project. Combining the science of biofeedback with a truly enlightening multimedia experience, you'll learn techniques for improving the mind-body connection. The unique biofeedback hardware measures your body's signals through the magic ring sensors on your fingers. You progress through the game using the power of your thoughts, feelings, breath, and awareness. Discover over 40 events as you travel throughout the realm, exploring and learning to control different states of energy, from excitement and exhilaration to relaxation and meditation. Throughout the game, you will meet many guides who will empower you with the knowledge needed to complete each event. Take an enchanting journey inward to a realm of unlimited human potential and return again and again to enjoy new discoveries in the realm and in yourself. The journey to Wild Divine. Harness the power of your inner magic.
Okay, we're done playing the video.
Great. First video is done. Okay, move to the second, the slide after that then, please.
Yes.
Relaxing rhythms, 15-step guided meditation.
Okay.
Technology is wonderful when it works, right?
We're there, absolutely now. You can start.
Okay. After the two adventure games, as an evolution of the same ideals we had created in the first two products, we moved on to Relaxing Rhythms 15-step guided meditation program. This is different because we used a menu-driven format as opposed to an adventure gaming format, and we added in guided meditations. But we're still keeping all of the playful active feedback events in this same product. We also added the contributions of worldwide recognized leaders in both health and meditation through the addition of Drs. Deepak Chopra, Dr. Andrew Weil, and Dr. Dean Ornish, as well as others who contributed their efforts to this really wonderful program. Then, continuing to evolve into a guided meditation format, we also created this last fall Deepak Chopra's Secrets of Meditation. And I have a video clip of what some of that product looks like, telling you a bit, again, about that product and its evolution and how it came into being.
Okay, we'll play that now.
Take a deep breath and hold it for a moment. As you exhale, make a very soft humming sound, audible only to you. Welcome to Secrets of Meditation. I'm Deepak Chopra, and I will be your guide in this program. And I've teamed up with Kyle Widner and Wild Divine to create an interactive software training program called Deepak Chopra's Secrets of Meditation.
Deepak Chopra has had a profound influence on my worldview, my meditation practice, and how I view problems and opportunities, both on a personal and a professional level. Because he understands that collectively, as human beings, the more aware we are, the more we can help impact the world around us.
One of the most common questions people ask when meditating is, am I doing it right? Or is it working?
Say you read a book or a magazine, or you watch a DVD, or you even listen to somebody speak. That's one-way communication. When you have direct, active feedback that your body signals provide to you, it creates what's called compounding confidence. And when you can start measuring what your thoughts do, you can start controlling what your thoughts do.
Meditation is not a huge, hard thing to do.
It's very interesting to know that you can draw yourself within yourself and experience a level of consciousness that you don't normally have on a day-to-day basis when the exterior universe invades your soul, so to speak.
It's almost like meditating with your eyes open. So it's pretty cool. I can like interact with my body, and I've always thought that meditation you have to like just imagine like your happiest thought. But now that I know more about it and I know what I'm about to do, I can certainly come back to where I am.
Our bodies, our minds, and the world are a projection of our consciousness. We literally have the power to create a new self, to create a new being. Whenever you feel ready, return your attention to this place in time and slowly become aware of your surroundings.
Okay, Jim, we're just in the second video. On the way, your phone has a little bit
Okay.
maybe you can just move your head a little down, right? I don't know. Yeah, that's great. Thank you very
That
much.
better? Okay. Well, the last slide is just to talk a little bit about what it is that we're working on both now and in the future. What we're doing is we're taking the user base that we have, which we estimate is at least 100,000 worldwide, and also combining this technology in an online, community-oriented gaming environment. We are the only company that I'm aware of who has moved the ability to play this kind of a game into Facebook, And we will very shortly have our own online subscription arena where people can come, they can interact with each other, see other players, and use the product very quickly, very easily, get into and out of something within 10 or 15 minutes, get a very quick breathing exercise. And for example, the project within Facebook, what we did was we had the Wild Divine community vote toward charitable organizations that they wanted to have us donate to. So as the gaming community hits a certain number of plays, we are donating funds to Doctors Without Borders, Amnesty International, Wounded Warrior, and a few other programs that our community voted on. We have another product that will be coming out the end of next month. Our Wild Divine fan base has chosen the name for that product. It will be Mindfulness Academy, 6 Steps to a Balanced Life. And so we're trying to use gaming, which we all know is enormously popular out there, both within Facebook and in other formats, to again enliven our community toward common goals, which for us is to obviously spread wellness, spread a positive attitude, and to beat the drum about how you can live a balanced life and own that yourself within your own body, to know truly that you have the power to do that and to help change people's lives for the better. And so that really is what our mission is at Wild Divine. So, Felix, are there any, have we had that demonstration going with anyone able to use the product?
Yes, now I think we can do that. We'll just about 2 minutes, and then we'll do the rock garden, okay?
Okay.
Maybe you can just tell a little bit about the rock garden, and we'll have it running in 1 or 2 minutes, okay?
Okay, terrific. Are you using it on the passage or on Relaxing Rhythms?
The passage.
Okay, super. All right. This is a really fun event. This is using that skin conductance level measurement reading. And as I mentioned to you, that's very subtle. The Rock Garden event is basically an event that when they start this up here, it's going to take a snapshot, if you will, of the user's current state. So if they're upset or tense or amplified, you should see the rocks at kind of a high level going across the screen. If they're very relaxed and very calm, you're going to see the rocks start out at a very low level. But whatever that level is, once it takes that kind of snapshot, that's what it wants you to try to maintain. So in other words, the goal of what it is that you're teaching your body is how to know, first of all, where a comfortable baseline is within your energy level, not too amplified, not too upset or aggravated or excited or pumped up, but also to just know where it's comfortable, and then to know how to be able to maintain that despite other challenges that are going to come your way. So in our daily lives, you know, like before, having to give a presentation, if you're feeling a little nervous about that, having that level of self-awareness can be key to help get you through that situation and many, many others in life.
You must realize that awareness is a state beyond the ordinary mind. It is a deeper level of our consciousness. Focus on maintaining a steady state of mind. This will allow you to balance the rocks, one on top of the other.
One of the things that we've also always found amazing, just even amongst all of us at the staff at Wild Divine, is how different we all natively are in terms of our ability to see what's happening on the screen in front of us. Because first and foremost, what biofeedback therapy at its core does is it shows you your existing state and teaches you tools to change it through breath therapy and other means, but primarily breath therapy. So you have to first know yourself.
Jane?
How are we doing there, Felix?
Can you hear me? I'm very sorry, but maybe you could just be quiet for a couple of minutes, so I think our test person is having problems. I think calm him down, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm excited.
Okay, I think this is a bit hard in front of all the audience and all the people to call enough down. I think we might better start the energy juggling maybe, okay?
Okay.
Maybe you can tell something about that for 1 minute or so and then we'll start, okay?
Sure, absolutely. Energy juggling is just what it implies in that you have a series of balls that are seated there at the bottom, and based upon your energy level, you can laugh to raise that energy level, you can clench your muscles, you can take big deep breaths in and get the ball sailing through the air, and then your objective is to see how long it takes for you to bring them back down again. And the reason why, again, understanding that energy level, why this is important, is because sometimes you're really in an amplified state, you know, something has gone wrong at work, you're extremely angry or upset about something, but in 15 minutes you have to go give a presentation, or you have to go pick up your kids and want to interact with them in a calm and relaxed state. Knowing how to move between these states is an important skill to have in life, and I think we all think that we're really good at taking a couple of deep breaths and then we're fine. And what this game tends to show you is that that's not necessarily the case. It can actually take a lot longer with some calm breathing to really square your physiology away and thus your mind. This is one of my favorite events to demo.
Starting.
Okay.
Breathe vigorously. Laugh.
All of you in the audience can help too. You can help breathe with someone to help them bring their energy up, and breathe calmly with them to help it come down.
Oh no. Okay. So what you can see here is when the energy levels go up and you breathe faster, for example, the balls go high up in the air, and when it comes down, it goes the opposite. That's rather relaxed. Maybe you can just try to pump up yourself a little bit and get those balls there again. Maybe breathe a little faster. Yeah, there we go. Fine. Okay, I think this was a nice demonstration. Maybe you want to say the last few words.
Okay. Again, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the opportunity to present. I hope that you've enjoyed this and that you've learned something and that you'll remember Wild Divine in the future. I believe Felix has some other information about how to contact us. You can do so anytime at www.wilddivine.com. And check us out on the website or find us on Facebook. And again, my name is Jean Widner, and I will look forward to maybe hearing from some of you. Were there any other questions?
Okay, thank you very much. I think we can take a couple of questions. Maybe I'll repeat them so you can hear me and hear them while the building microphone. So, are there any questions? Yes, please.
How long did it take you, how many people, to develop the game?
Did you hear that?
No, I couldn't, sorry.
Okay, the question was, how many people did it take you to develop the game and how much time?
Ooh. Let's see, the first game was probably worked on by a crew of only 3 people. We had the hardware engineer, all located within Boulder, Colorado. You had the hardware engineer, you had the artist in Corwin Bell, and then you had the actual biofeedback developer. So it really was a pretty small crew that first pulled this product together.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions?
How much does it cost?
Okay, the question is now, how much does the product cost?
In the US, if you purchase, say for example, one piece of the hardware and that software, say, Journey to Wild Divine, The Passage, the 2 sell at retail for $299.95, and that's US dollars. So converted to euros, that's what, $225 or something,
yeah,
give or take?
Might be right, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay.
Is there any research result on effectivity?
Yes, the question is now, are there research results on the effects of the program that really work?
Yes, and in fact, I think I sent you a couple of those in the attachments. The University of Sydney in Australia did some research with a population of children dealing with attention deficit disorder, and they found that as a very positive experience. We also have a study done with a population of nurses at the Mayo Clinic here in the United States. And again, what they were looking at for that particular research study was the ability for the nurses to better manage their own personal stress levels there on the job at the Mayo Clinic. And again, those results were very beneficial. There is now currently just getting started another study being done at the Children's Hospital associated with Harvard there in Boston. And they have in their psychiatric care ward, their intake ward, they just recently acquired, I believe it's 20 or 25 units that they're going to be running a study on with various psychological issues that they intake patients from there at their psychological mental health wellness and center.
Okay, thank you. And you're right, you sent me those papers, and I printed out a couple of them. Folks, if you see those lying around, those are the research papers about Wild Divine. Some of them are medically interesting. Some of those of you who don't want to read that much, there's also a short article by Cosmopolitan, but if you want the real results, get in there. And I'll also put them on the website. Okay, thanks. Any other questions? Yes?
Those high school prison thing, why did they use it? And was it, had they to use it, or did they choose to use Wild Divine in the inmates?
The question is now about your usage of Wild Divine in the high school prison.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, why did you use it, and about the prisoners, did they voluntarily use it, or did they have to use the program? And if they were voluntaries, how many of them played, maybe?
Okay, I don't know that I know a number for you on that. Here's what I can tell you is Deb Anderson, who is the principal of this particular establishment, contacted me. She purchased one unit based upon a recommendation from another fellow, prison high school principal. And she had the one unit, she started using it with the students and had applied for a grant in order to be able to purchase more units. And the story that she wrote me by email was that she stepped into an elevator one day, riding between floors, and there were two young male students who were standing there talking. One of them saying, "I've got, this upcoming court appointment. I'm really upset. I'm afraid of, how that's going to go." And another boy says to him, "I just went through the same thing just about a week ago, and you know what? Do the breathing tree. Just breathe with the breathing tree from the game, and you'll get through it. It'll be fine, but just stay cool." And she said, "That's all I need to know." And she got the grant and purchased another 20 units, and that's been over a year and a half. And what she says to me in terms of the way that they are able to manage the students and the growth that she sees in the students that are willing and able to play this game is enormous. So we'll hope for better things in the future from other similar types of opportunities such as they exist out there.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions? Yes.
The US market is much bigger than the German. Can you give us some figures about the size of the target group in numbers and how many products you have sold so far?
Okay, the question is about the number of products you've sold so far and how big you think the target group is. Well, because the person asking the question is mentioning that, of course, the market in the US is much bigger than in Germany, and maybe just what are your experiences with number of sales?
Well, here's what I can tell you. We estimate that we have about 100,000 users worldwide. The products have been on the market since 2004. We do have some 400 resellers worldwide. Probably one of the strongest resellers we actually have in the world is in the German market. He is Claudius at mindshop.de there in Germany, and I couldn't tell you off the top of my head exactly how many units he has. I think that the market potential for this product is really enormous. I mean, we have still not even tapped our own full potential here in the US when you start to look at the notions of corporate wellness or partnering with an insurance company, say, for example, to help both improve people's lives through non-medication resources. There are a great many children's hospitals that we still are not in. There are a great many Veterans Administration hospitals, and just a large abundance of private practice. Plus, I also think that generally out there within the population, people are understanding that we're going to live longer and that we're going to live longer and want to have a quality of life that isn't ruled by taking medications to help deal with hypertension or cholesterol or diabetes. And the thing about meditation, I'm not talking about my product per se, but just in terms of meditation as a discipline, the statistics keep coming through again and again and again that mindfulness meditation, that taking a few minutes a day to breathe helps people improve their own wellness and their own personal health in ways that are currently still being, becoming to be better understood. But the benefits and the effects are real. So I think you've got an awakening of the general population who wants something more from their physicians than just, here, take this medicine, it'll handle your cholesterol and you'll feel better. I think people want more, and I think they're demanding more. And so as people cast about and look for different alternatives, we're one of those alternatives.
Okay, great. Other questions? Okay, I think that's exhausted the questions for today. I think people are getting a bit drowsy maybe today because they have had to listen to speakers all day long. But thank you very much. I think that's worth another round of applause. Yes, and we'll leave the product running on one of the PCs here so people can test for themselves, okay?
Terrific. Thank you so much, Felix. And Felix does also have a sheet there with an order form so that you can order either at wholesale or at retail if you wish to, and you can email those into us, and the instructions are all there on the form, if you should wish. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you too. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.